which is Driving and Crying.
Basically
So,
Driving and Crying.
yeah,
So they're
we're
very recognizable.
really excited. We got some good local mix from Georgia bands, and Sister Hazel. I don't call them quite a Georgia band, but they got a big Atlanta
Georgia following.
Yeah. Very big Georgia following. So this year, we went after it, and hopefully we get a good show for you.
Well, I want to talk about that too, because I don't think a lot of people understand, the work that happens up front to land bands like that, and almost kind of the risk you take. And so tell us a little bit, you let us into what that process is like on the front end. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Roswell Brew Talks, and we are really excited about the guests that we have on today. We've got Jeris and Jeremy. We're going to be talking all things Roswell Music Festival, which is coming up, so we're extremely excited about that. That's an event we've seen grow. It keeps getting better and better, and hopefully it's here to stay for quite some time. So welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad
Thanks
to
for
be
having
here.
us.
Absolutely. Well, let's just going to jump right into it. I mean, what we want to know is, how did this all get started? And how has it become what it is today with all of the production and everything that's involved? Because we've really seen this thing kind of evolve into something over a short period of time. And it seems like it's only moving forward.
Yeah, it is. Well, I guess I'll start, Jeremy.
Yeah,
So I think I originally got involved in the music community when we opened Gypsy Rose, which we all remember those glory days. At least we do, Jeremy.
Yeah.
But then, a couple years later, True had reached out to me because I didn't know him, but he was looking to start a music festival in Roswell, and somebody had given him my name. And so we we didn't connect then, but we kind of randomly met at 1920 and started talking. And we decided that let's just do it. We love Roswell. We needed a music festival. And then, of course, we needed Jeremy Smith and Jeremy Fort and Alan Carlquist got involved. And so it just kind of it evolved from there. We got a great little committee together. We all work so well together, great partners. And we all kind of bring our own little niche to the group. So yeah, that's just kind of how it all began.
Yeah, and just last year we kind of pulled it off. It was amazing. We got a great response from the community. I think everyone had a great time. We did pretty well on tickets, and the goal is just kind of year by year, kind of grow it, and hopefully this is a yearly, maybe twice a year event that we can do, and everyone just have a good time.
Well, you hit on something too. I want to talk about. I know a few years ago it kind of started out. It was a venue to venue type thing, so it was highlighting who was performing within the various businesses and locations throughout the community. And if you attended last year, one of the biggest things you saw was, wow, okay, we have like a full scale production, staging, audio, visual, lighting. It's a captive audience that's really kind of kept in the footprint. And so talk about what that evolution looked like and how you guys decided to kind of get bigger with it.
Well, that time that I kind of did a little smaller thing several years ago before COVID, and it was a totally different format. Like you said, it was just kind of bouncing around, highlighting artists at different bars and restaurants around. But to me, that didn't work that well that year because you need a main stage location, really. So that was kind of when we all sort of came together and started talking. We decided we want one main stage, and then maybe as we move forward and try to do this twice a year, we'll have a fall fest where we do it a little more that style, like the 30A singer-songwriter style festival, where we do kind of
or a porch fest
type thing, and
kind of get into that.
Yeah. So we have kind of better plan laid out for the the different locations and how that's all going to be set up. I think that can be great also. But initially we wanted to start with just a main stage, big production, and have a centralized location where everybody can just kind of come and enjoy and all be there together in one spot.
Right. And we're lucky enough to have True, who comes with a production background. So that's his side of the business. And obviously we partner with Southeast Elite, David McPherson. They've done such a great job. I mean, we didn't have to worry about a thing, but True does come from that production background. So he knew exactly the fencing, the lights, as you said. I mean, we're taking it this year to 2 big stages. So we have 2 stages, 8 bands, 2 big stages. So from noon to 10 o'clock, it will be constant music.
Yeah. And that's a little bit what's different also about from last year is that our second stage last year was pretty small, and we had it placed where it wasn't as visible. So this year we're really ramping up the second stage. So it's going to be pretty predominant also.
Yeah.
So,
and we'll talk about the lineup too in just a second, but I want to focus on Roswell for a second. It's, you guys obviously live here. Roswell's near and dear to your heart. Is there any other reason you chose to keep this festival here versus expanding elsewhere? Was it just wanting to stick by your hometown?
Yeah, well, obviously because Roswell's the best, so that's the first and foremost reason.
Yeah,
right.
But
we really saw the need. It was just I think it was time. We looked at these other cities doing this, and we're like, why can't we do it? I think a dream for all of us would one day just have Canton Street blocked off as far as do the festival there. Maybe it's free one day. Hopefully we build this to what we want it to be at some point, but we just really saw the need, and we thought with who's in the area, we could build a good clientele and sell Roswell in the beautiful place it is.
Yeah, I mean, people here love music. They love live music, and they like being outside and hanging out together and having drinks and being so we just feel like it was the right environment.
Yeah, it makes sense. We have all these culinary events too and things and wine festivals and things like that. And I think one of the things that's very evident is people will spend money on VIP admission and they'll spend money on general admission purchases, but you guys are offering, tiered ticket facilitation as well. So how have ticket sales been as far as both of those segments?
Yeah. Good. So VIP, it's the Variant VIP tent. VIP ticket sales have been going fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have Variant beer all day, some select wines, and we'll have Basque for our food. So you will get a couple different servings of Basque throughout the day, which is definitely a great addition for our tent. General, we will have From the Earth and Gate City. We will also have From the Earth food truck. Depending on the sales, we'll have probably a couple of those setups throughout the general.
Yeah, we want to give a shout out to Tim too, because
Tim's been great.
He's been amazing, and we're just so happy to partner with him this year.
Yeah, huge community supporter. Tim's pretty much there, at every turn. It seems like great guy, great company. His wife Lisa does a ton as well. We really appreciate them. Well, let's transition a little bit and talk about the actual lineup. You mentioned you got two stages. You're gonna have music running all day long, pretty much. We know, especially with a great weather day, that's gonna be incredible.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
We
have good weather this year.
We need some good weather days for sure. We've gotten lucky here lately, so we're gonna hope that it holds out. But let's talk about the lineup. It's a pretty diverse mix. I feel like you guys are catering to kind of a little bit of everybody, and it's not just kind of one specific area where if you're into this kind of music, this is for you. But if you're not, maybe you're not going to want to come. You guys have done a good job of diversifying.
Yeah, we wanted people across the board to enjoy.
And different from last year. Last year we did probably a little bit more cover bands heavy. This year we only have one, Frankly Scarlet, which we'll probably have back every year.
They bring a great crowd.
They put on
a
great
awesome
show. But this year, we decided to kind of step it up. Our headliner, Sister Hazel, great band. Everyone knows them. I think most kids from the 90s know them. And
Shoot, yeah. I do. I know that.
Yeah.
5-7 hit, great songs. And if you haven't seen them live, they're fantastic. I've watched them a bunch. So awesome. We're really excited to have them.
Yeah, our lineup is great. I mean, even for our second stage also. So we've got a couple of local bands that are awesome. Davis and the Love is going to be opening up on the main stage, and we've got Bloodkin, which a lot of old school people from Athens remember them.
Widespread Panic fans, they'll probably notice the name. And then we also have Kevin Kinney Band, which is Driving and Crying.
Basically Driving and Crying. So they're very recognizable.
We're really excited. We got some good local mix from Georgia bands, and Sister Hazel. I don't call them quite a Georgia band.
Yeah.
They got a big
Georgia following.
Very big Georgia following. So this year, we went after it, and hopefully we can get a good show for you.
Well, I want to talk about that too, because I don't think a lot of people understand, the work that happens up front to land bands like that, and almost kind of the risk you take. And so tell us a little bit, you let us into what that process is like on the front end. I mean, the event hasn't happened. You guys are booking bands before ticket sales have even beginning to occur, before sponsorships. I know that's a key part of it as well. We'll get to that in a second as well. But what is it like to actually go through, these agents and having to book and work on contracts and writers and things like that?
Well, mostly True has been handling a lot of that.
on
So
the production side. But
yeah, and
it has a lot to do with routing, who's coming through town, what we can afford.
yeah,
Sure.
their tour plans and
Their
all of
tour
that.
plans. Oh yeah, they'll be in Alabama, so they can come the next day. A lot of that. But yeah, we go through. We have a long list. I mean, we go through a lot of bands.
Some of the bands have actually kind of cut us a break because we're still somewhat new. So, we've had to raise some sponsorship dollars in order to put deposits down on bands. But some of the bands that would have been more likely to say, okay, you have to put a higher deposit down, have kind of cut us a little bit of a break because we're newer,
Sure.
So we've, they've been working really well with us. But
it's a couple meeting job. I mean, it's not just one day we sit down and say, hey, we're getting Sister Hazel. We kind of go down a list. Hey, who's listening to them?
We basically started right after last year's festival trying to figure out the lineup. I mean, that's the longest part of the process is just figuring out, narrowing down what bands we really want to reach out to.
Right.
And we have to have like 10 meetings about that.
It's about 10 meetings. Yes.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, you hit on it too, and I said we're going to get to this too. Sponsorship is a big part of it. Roswell always comes through, whether it's a nonprofit, an organization, corporation. It seems like sponsorships are going well for you guys. Talk about who some of those are and who's coming to the table.
Yeah. So one of our big sponsors is OTR Solutions, home based right here in Roswell. They've stepped up to the plate and became a pretty big sponsor. We have Trader Joe's. They're donating some food and snacks and such. Renaissance Bank are some of it. We just signed up the Averly at East Village on the other side of 400. So we're real excited about that apartment community being built, and we just partnered with them.
Of course, all our beer boys. We've got
the beer boys. Yes,
Variant
is taking over the VIP again, and then we have the other two breweries on the general. So we're partnering with everyone we can here in Roswell. We also have Blank Records. They've
Blank Records and Live at the Print Shop.
Cool. Yeah.
He's great. They put on a great YouTube channel with live music, and y'all should check it out. Live at the Print Shop. It's very cool. And then we've got our Canton Street stage. So our second stage is going to be called the Canton Street stage. The main stage is the Roswell stage. So the Canton Street stage, we're trying to kind of stick to restaurants and businesses on Canton Street to be the sponsors of that stage. So we've got 1920, Loyal Tavern, Vining's Gallery, Cello,
Little Alley, Salt,
great.
Loyal Tavern.
Yeah. So
we have quite a few, and then we'll probably add some more. But we have a lot of these restaurants and businesses, like I said, Vining's. So they'll be on the Canton Street stage, and
we wanted something that was dedicated solely to kind of like acknowledge the Canton Street businesses.
Love it.
Yeah.
And you may or may not see your beer being poured into a Visit Roswell cup.
You will.
Not saying we're a sponsor, not saying actually we are a sponsor. We're excited about it. We're excited about being there.
Andy, I was going to hold off on that one.
Yeah, that was going to be a big announcement.
Our big announcement. We are lucky enough to have Andy and Visit Roswell as our cup sponsor.
Love it.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, well, we like the fact that you guys invite us to bring the mobile visitor center out. That gets us in front of an audience we might not have been able to get in front of. So we appreciate the opportunity as well.
Of course.
And we'll kind of wrap it up here. I want to hit on one other thing. There is a beneficiary to Roswell Music Festival, and I would love for you guys to give them a shout out and talk about how you landed on them.
Yeah, we have an amazing nonprofit that we're partnering with called the Shepherd's Men.
Okay.
And I don't know if we didn't talk about this yet, but we're having kind of a patriotic theme this year for our festival. So Shepherd's Men supports U.S. veterans with hidden injuries, whether that be mental or physical injuries, and they have partnered. It's called the Share Military Initiative. They partnered with the Shepherd Center, focusing on a rehabilitation program for traumatic brain injury, including PTSD. So they're really, really doing a lot to support injured veterans, whether it's mental or physical injuries. They're really doing a lot to support them.
Great.
Yeah. So they're a great organization. And one of our partners, Jeremy Fort, is on the board of that organization. So he's the one who introduced us to them. So it seems like a really good fit.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, I love it. I love it. And, before we head off here, I want to make sure all the details are out there. So give us the date, the time, where you can go to get more information, where you can purchase tickets, everything a general person considering this needs to know.
Okay.
You can go to RoswellMusicFest.com, purchase tickets. If you want to sponsor, you can go there as well. There'll be a couple links, but it's May 18th. Like I said earlier, it runs from noon to 10. Well, actually,
doors open at noon, and then the bands will start at 1.
Okay.
And then obviously our social media, it's just Roswell Music Fest. Well, it's full festival, Roswell Music Festival for both Instagram and Facebook. And then anywhere on any of those sites, you can find our ticket link. $50 for general admission. We are going to be running a couple of promos here and there for discounted tickets, so people can keep an eye out for those promos. But general admission for 8 bands for 10 hours, it's a pretty good deal, especially for bigger name bands like we have this year.
Will be free.
Okay.
So. Yeah, that's nice because it'll be family friendly. So 12 and under are free, and general admission is going to be awesome this year with Tim's food truck, and we'll try to do a little kid zone area, something that can kind of entertain the kids a little bit more. And then VIP is $170.
Okay.
And you'll get beer and wine and Basque food, and
then there will be a cash bar. But you'll have variant beer and select wines, and obviously Basque all day long. I think 4 or 5 meals will be served throughout the day, so it'll be ongoing.
People won't go hungry.
I feel like it's fully worth it.
Love it. I 12 and under for free. I got 2 kids, and I'll tell you, the price of groceries, I'm in.
Yeah,
that's an incentive for me to come. I'll be there anyway, but I love that.
Well, and you can re-enter, so go really have fun with the kids, and then come back and
go drop them off with the babysitter.
Right.
I'm glad you said that. That's awesome. So you can re-enter with a wristband.
You
okay,
can.
Great.
Yeah,
fantastic. Well, this has been awesome, Jeris. It's great to have you, Jeremy. You too. We appreciate everything you guys are doing. RoswellMusicFestival.com or MusicFest.com.
Festival.com.
Festival. All spelled. Okay. Yep. RoswellMusicFestival.com. Get your tickets there. Yep.
And there's also our email if anybody's interested in sponsorships and just wants to email directly. It's info@RoswellMusicFestival.com.
Perfect. All right. Pleasure having you guys on. We look forward to seeing you guys for the festival. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.